Now, that being said, if there's a lot of pain and I'm working here and I can work here, but there's a lot, then if it's excess, I might consider bleeding, right? Um, I it seems like if you spend time with me, it seems that I don't do a lot of bleeding, and that's only because I really only bleed when it's necessary. Because if there isn't a lot of chi and I bleed, I can get a very good result for 5 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe a day, but it tends to weaken or cause be less effective longer term for that patient because it's also very draining if their pulse doesn't fit the bleeding along with the technique. And if you had showed up in my practice years ago where I had many more people scheduling in on that day or banging on our door and saying, I have this, you would have seen a lot more bleeding. Now I'm so hard to schedule with that a lot of people schedule and they have to wait 2 months to see me, right? My calendar is set that you can't book more than 2 months. So if somebody had an acute condition where bleeding was going to be a great technique to use when they scheduled that appointment, 2 months later, it probably isn't. And so if you come to our clinic and observe, you might think, oh, he never does that. Please remember, I do absolutely everything necessary to get a patient better with the least amount of iatrogenic influence. But your view of what I do when you come and watch me is based on the current reality of my practice. Does that make sense? And so remember that no matter who you're studying with, you are catching a glimpse of them at that moment in time that only reflects what they are doing at that moment in time. And it doesn't reflect what they always have done before, what they will do in the future, what they even did yesterday or tomorrow or anything else. And if we can do that, we can see very flexibly, this is how they've applied that reality to this moment. And that's very valuable to be able to watch a teacher and grasp how they are book of changes medicine interfacing with this moment and this reality to get the best result possible, given the limitations and issues based on that. My practice, I can't say it's boring. I have a very interesting practice. But for me, it's much more boring than when I would have someone who came in with a dislocated shoulder or a broken femur or something like that because they got hit by a bicycle yesterday, they went to the hospital, now they're with me. That's exciting for me, you know? The person who just got stung by 15 bees, right? I mean, that's fun for me, right? I like emergency medicine. And I don't get to see much of it at all anymore because of the way my practice is set up. So in the future, I won't travel and I will be there only if you walk in and guahao, get a number and wait, like in China. But I mean, how awful is that for my patients that they show up at 5 in the morning, get a number, and they have to wait till 11 to see me, right?